If you write, "Good evening, I'm Krishnan Gurumurthy."
Artificial intelligence can, on the face of it, be a bit of fun.
Good evening, I'm Krishnan Gurumurthy. I'd like to introduce the finest reporter of his generation, Kieran Moodley.
That's the nicest thing he's ever said to me.
Something easy to make when you have the right tools.
And that just took, what, 30 seconds?
It took 30 seconds of source audio. You can give it more.
But a prank has consequences. A bit of fun can turn sinister. What if you took Krishnan Gurumurthy's voice and his image and made something like this?
Keir Starmer and his associates are under scrutiny after allegations surfaced that they have been tampering with polling booths.
It may not look that believable on a full screen, but what if this and countless other deepfakes appeared throughout your newsfeed? Because that's the concern of disinformation expert Marcus Beard, who made this video as a warning.
If your social media feed is inundated with hundreds of these clips and it's kind of interspersed with real news you're getting from official accounts, it makes it much harder for the average person, for all of us, to discern and to switch on and think, okay, which one is a deepfake and which one isn't.
In a new report seen exclusively by Channel 4 News, Marcus has revealed how cheap it is to create false news reports just with basic tools available to anyone online.
It only took us about 30 minutes from start to finish, from having absolutely nothing, and about £1 in terms of money we spent.
Just £1?
Yeah. So if you had £100, you could generate about 10 hours of synthetic video and audio.
10 hours?
10 hours. So if you were to break that all down, that's, into 30-second chunks, that's ultimately 1,200 TikToks.
Here's another video Marcus created to reveal the security threats the UK faces.
Due to unforeseen circumstances, we have had to postpone the election for at least 1 week.
Imagine something like this being unleashed, not just by a rogue state, but simply someone with a couple of pounds and a political axe to grind.
As the UK gets nearer to an election, because this technology is so cheap and so easy to use, we'll see it spread a lot more.
The issue of AI is already playing a role in democracies. During Slovakia's parliamentary elections last September, there was a wealth of disinformation online, including this deepfake audio. In the fake recording, the progressive candidate Michal Šimečka was heard talking to a journalist about rigging the election. Fact-checker Veronika Frankowska said it was shared thousands of times and was difficult to debunk.
These files, even when however they are manipulated or generated, they are not circulated in their original forms. Somebody really just records a screen from TikTok, from Telegram, place some kind of a filter over it, and that's how it makes its way to Facebook or Instagram, where it actually gains traction and reaches masses.
While the audio was eventually blocked by TikTok and Meta, Veronika says the tools for detecting AI quickly and accurately are not yet in place.
It would be very interesting to consider some kind of a regulation that would somehow force all the AI technologies to leave traces within themselves.
Here in the UK, the Electoral Commission said they would expect anyone using AI-generated campaign material to label it clearly. And the Department for Science, Innovation and Technology said the government was rapidly responding to misinformation, and the Online Safety Act will require social media platforms to swiftly remove illegal misinformation and disinformation. But how to better educate people so that they can detect fake news? Well, one organisation has an idea.
If people do play the game, it can markedly and meaningfully reduce their engagement with mis and disinformation online.
Max Morby is a behavioural scientist at the research group Thinks, Insight and Strategy. They have created a short game that educates people about how to spot misinformation.
These are real news stories, real things shared.
Absolutely.
And I've got to decide whether they're true or false.
Absolutely.
It's a daily quiz, 6 questions which ask you whether a story is true or false, and then explains what you should be looking out for.
If you can play something like this game, and it doesn't take too long and you can play it regularly, then all of us can have just that little more critical appraisal of what we're seeing online. And I think that's all we're looking for. The central thing that I would emphasize is that anybody can be vulnerable to mis and disinformation. It's not just your mum or your auntie who spends too much time on the internet or whoever it is. Like, all of us are vulnerable.
And that's something that I can attest to. We are all vulnerable.
If you're having a bad day, just remember that the Salzburg airport has a counter for people who flew to Austria instead of Australia. Okay, I'm just going to say true. Because I bet I read that and I don't. Oh no, it's false. No.
It's a lovely story though. What we do want you to do is when you're skimming through social media, just be able to stop and think. We're looking for that little bit more critical appraisal, which means you're that little bit less likely to react, which means that actually these things don't spread so fast and don't spread so quickly, because that's the big problem.
This is just the start of an attempt to better prepare us for the likely flood of AI-generated misinformation that many predict will increase ahead of the general election. While these tools can help, voters have to also ensure that they play their part in defending democracy from deepfakes.